Hey guys, welcome to the We Need to Calm Down podcast. I'm Devon.
And I'm Joe.
And this is a show where we talk about all things Taylor Swift.
Jesus,
Woo!
bring it down. Bring it down. We are at a funeral. Read the room.
Very true. Okay.
This is the show where we finally get to talk about Taylor Swift a lot, and you guys have to listen to it. That's right. It's not optional anymore.
That's right. Now that you have clicked play, you cannot hit pause. Don't test it. Anyways, we'll be discussing everything from song breakdowns, Taylor news, and our insane fan theories.
So how you been, Devon?
I've been good. I've been a lot better than I have been. I am fresh off of work, so I am wearing makeup. My hair looks decent. I don't look depressed in a blanket. Which is...
How will we ever recognize you? No.
I don't look like a troll. Oh, no.
No, I'm actually really happy to hear that because I think we both kind of bounced back very quickly and very well from a week of mild depression.
2 weeks ago, the traumatic.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
No.
But I'm really happy to hear that because I feel the same way. I feel like I've kind of come back. I feel a lot better. I feel a lot more positive. Life's great. Enjoy living it. Let's see if we have a look from Taylor Swift's discography that matches our beautiful new outlooks on life.
Reborn. Well, I was going to say, yeah, this is a good exercise because, 2 weeks ago, we were not doing good. Our lyrics were kind of depressing.
They were pretty bad.
I think the lyric that would describe where I'm at right now in my current outlook and situation is, I watched it begin again. We're just going to...
Ooh, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. I like Begin Again was, I think, we floated an idea for an episode we might do down the line that was inspired by Begin Again of just like songs that gave us hope.
Mm-hmm.
And that song is like, if I ever need hope, that is an auto listen. It's just so positive and so full of excitement.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is a little bit different. So I'm still on the folklore because I haven't really listened to much of her old stuff in a little while. But my lyric is, if you never bleed, you're never gonna grow, and it's all right now. Added a second, like the second half of that lyric in there. But I don't know. I feel like that's a lyric that I always come back to, and like a sentiment that I always follow of like, sometimes it does hurt, but like if you don't get hurt, like you're never gonna grow, and it's better to just return from it and learn from it.
That's a good outlook.
No, it's fun. It's good.
Yeah. And you were just saying before, you weren't looking back on old discography. It's so funny because I'm looking back in my current situation and I'm like, holy crap, I can relate to a lot of different songs now that I wasn't able to relate to before. So I was going through and I'm like, this one and this one.
That's so nice because they're all positive. I'm going through folklore and thinking I can relate to this one, and that cliff looks nice. No, no, it is. It is funny going back and re-listening to folklore. Like I've definitely felt like I've related to a lot more songs, or like certain lyrics have resonated with me a lot, more than when they first did. Which is take it as it is. I mean, I'll take it as a positive. Anytime I can feel a Taylor Swift lyric more, I'm happy. Yeah. Whether or not I'm actually happy.
All right.
So what are we talking about today on this typical Tuesday?
So last Thursday, you heard from us. We were doing the song breakdown for track 5, My Tears Ricochet. But today, we are going through the lyrics of the song in a segment I like to call Between the Lines with Devon and Joe. So are you ready to dive in?
What if I just said no? Like, what would you do?
Too bad.
Close the Zoom call. Like, we're out.
Stop the recording. All right. Well,
I guess we'll do it tomorrow. I didn't know. Wasn't planning for this.
Before we actually go line by line by line, I think it's important to note that the theory that we're going to be discussing, or I'll be discussing, is that this song is about losing her masters, her leaving Big Machine Records to go to Atlantic, her whole thing with Scooter
Universal.
Braun.
What do you mean?
Universal?
She's in Universal Music Group.
Yeah, but she's in Atlantic though,
No,
which is
I
under
don't.
Universal Music Group. I studied music industry, Joe. Do not test me. She signed to Atlantic Records, which is owned by Universal.
Okay, so Taylor Swift's record labels: Big Machine, Polygram, which is under Universal Music Group, Republic Records, Universal
Uh,
Music Publishing, Mercury Records, and Virgin Records.
it's for
You know what's crazy? You know what's not on there?
Atlantic. It's
Yeah, that's so
Republic.
crazy to
It's
me.
Republic. I
That's
freaked
so
out.
interesting to me that like there were like 6 on there and none of them, not even one of them was Atlantic Records. That's
Who's
insane.
Atlantic?
Devin, what's it like to be so wrong?
Shut up. Who's Atlantic?
Atlantic has Cardi B.
Oh yeah, not even Roddy Rich.
Literally, Atlantic is nowhere.
I really I really want to cut that out because I
I'm not gonna
embarrassed.
I'm gonna cut out some of it, but not all of it. You're gonna, and it's also Atlantic's parent organization is Warner Music Group,
All right,
not even
all right, all
Universal.
right, all right. So she left Big Machine for Republic Records under Universal
Just say
Music Group.
okay, all right, fine.
WUMG, not
See,
WMG.
you would also know that if you bought any of her merch, because every single time I bought any of her merch, it came up Universal Music Group, not Atlantic Records.
Well, I knew it was Universal Music Group. I was trying to get the subgroup right. Anyways.
Well, you got it wrong, so.
So that's the story that we're going off of. That seems to be the widely accepted theory for this song. So I'm going to go line by line and explain why.
Devin, this is a team game.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to
We
say
are going to go line by line.
Well, yes. I'm going to say the lines unless you want to.
Hog.
Okay, mister. Yeah, I'm going to let you do all the work and then just sit here and comment. Uh-huh. You don't get to just braid me this episode. No.
Am I keeping that in?
Yeah, you're keeping that in.
Jesus.
All right. Anyways, before I get more red, because I'm red now. All right.
Me too.
So, the line, we begin. We gather here, we line up, weeping in a sunlit room. So, like I said last episode on Thursday, it sets the scene of a wake. You're lining up, paying your respects, mourning a loss. We gather here is usually a line said at the beginning of a eulogy. Explain.
That's where we are right now. Yes. We're at the beginning of a eulogy.
Yes. No explanation needed. The next line.
I do hate that immediately I'm wrong because, like we said in the last episode, I envision this outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
Outdoor, as much as I'd love to argue for it, is not a room.
No.
It is sunlit. It's not a room.
The next line. And if I'm on fire, you'll be made of ashes too. Great line, by the way.
I will say, looking at it now, it feels really out of place, does it not? It doesn't feel like it continues the story. It's very much a non sequitur.
I think it transitions into the next line. But so
definitely
about this line, being on fire, you could take that as a positive or a negative. It could be destructive, but in either case, the other person is made up of her. Ash is a product of fire. So if my career is like popping off and I'm on fire, you're profiting and a part of my success. But if I'm burning to the ground, you're coming down with me.
It just reminds me of someone who's just like burning and just wants to hug someone really bad. Mm-hmm. Like they're on fire, and instead of stop, drop, and roll, they go, come here, and they just run at you, and you're like, what do I do? And then you just die. Anyway.
You just die. All right, next line.
Oh,
Even on my worst day, did I deserve, babe, all the hell you gave me? So I think that, it's just, even on my worst day, the hell of being dragged through the mud and being gaslit, was that justified?
One thing I think is really interesting here is if this song is directly, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Is directly directed, I hate that, to Scooter Braun, she's calling him babe. Isn't that weird?
People pointed that out. Yeah, I mean, I think that it's the same thing with, leaving like a father. It's just a...
But I'm not trying to like further the issue here, but like, wasn't it like a really big deal in Reputation when she started saying babe and baby, like, and stuff like that. Because I remember, like, what was it? My baby's fit like a like when she
Mm-hmm.
said stuff like that, like people like made a big deal out of it. So I feel like Taylor Swift saying babe is not casual. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I I could be wrong, but I'm just going based on what I remember from
Mm-hmm.
Reputation.
Yeah.
It I don't think I don't know that there's anything, there could be nothing out of it, but knowing Taylor, like there's something. Like
Mm-hmm.
it could also just be that this is her way of making it so, yes, this is about Scooter, but you can also interpret it as an ex-lover or something
Mm-hmm.
along those lines. It could just
Yeah.
be that.
It could be an artistic choice.
Mm-hmm.
It could also be
A
about the
poetic choice.
song Babe.
Oh,
How
that's right.
could you do this, babe? Yeah. How could
Ooh.
you do this?
Ooh.
So the next line, because I loved you, I swear I loved you until my dying day. So it's, you read it and it just sounds sad. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
I loved you, I swear I did. And it's, it was probably a hard decision to leave Big Machine and her masters behind. She loved them and she loved the history, but unfortunately, she had to move on.
So another thing I want to point out here, who who do you think she is talking to throughout the, do you think
I think
the,
she's talking about Scott Borchetta. Borchetta.
no, I mean, like, so you think, do you think she's, who she's talking to throughout changes throughout the song? Like, in one instance, because like to me, when she says, because I loved you, I swear I loved you till my dying day, I think she's talking specifically to a personification of her masters,
Her old Taylor.
of her old Taylor. Like, she's like, I
Yeah.
loved that collection of music that I created, and I
Hmm.
feel like she's talking specifically to that, because there's no way in hell she says, because I loved you, Big Machine, I
Well, no.
really did, or I loved you, Scooter, or what is
Hmm.
he, Scott,
Yeah.
Scott Pacheco, or whatever.
Well, I
um
think I think the song is just about, I mean, that line in particular is about old Taylor and her younger self, her past self. But I think at the same time, the whole song is basically a lament about this old time period. I think it's just
mhm.
everything encapsulated in one. Like you
I
can't
feel
have
like,
one without the other.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But I feel like who each line might be targeted to a different party involved.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. So that we get into the chorus with the first line, I didn't have it in myself to go with Grace. Um, it can refer to her making a big deal out of this new record label
Mhm.
signing. And when she received the backlash about it, she lashed out and defended herself with all the, her claiming her masters or trying to. It's, I didn't have it in myself to go with Grace.
Like all the stuff she did, like she put out like like the notes on Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
of like the long stuff explaining what was going on, and like kind of really throwing gasoline on the fire that is Big Machine Records.
Yeah.
Not not to say that she handled it right or wrong, but you can easily see what she means by this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there might have been a better way to approach it. There might not have been. This might have been the only way to do it, but that's the way that she ended up going.
Yeah. And then the next line, and you're the hero flying around saving face. I think that this is all about, Scooter Braun, Scott Borchetta, their apologies and claiming, oh, but, she knew, her dad knew. And, Scooter Braun's wife saying that, like trying to defend him, trying to save face. But it's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, you can't be the hero. You know you did wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And the next line, and if I'm dead to you, why are you at the wake? Why are you praising me? Why are you congratulating me on my success? If I was so awful and you didn't want me around, why are you still talking about me?
Yeah, that's like, they did that, right? Like, they, like when she
Mm-hmm.
like put out Lover, they said like, oh, we'll say, well,
Congrats.
yeah,
It's awesome. I want us to work together in the future. I want us to have a good collaboration. But it's like, I'm dead to you. You already buried
yeah.
me.
You cut that cord, and there's no bringing it back.
Mm-hmm. And then the last two lines, cursing my name, wishing I stayed. That's them wishing that she had stayed with Big Machine to collect all that cash money, cursing her, just like, damn, like I wish he stayed. And the last line, look at how my tears ricochet, which is such a great line. So I think we talked about this briefly before, but ricochet is used as a word typically used with projectiles such as bullets bouncing off of a surface, hitting someone else. Her tears, which they caused, are coming down, ricocheting off of me, off of my guitar, and hurting you in tandem. You're the cause of my pain. You're gonna feel it. It's just like,
You're
watch
gonna
it
feel the
happen.
raindrops on my guitar. Oh.
The raindrops. God, that dude. So dumb. Anyways, so
No,
that's that line.
I do really love that because I was actually going to ask that because it does feel weird. Like, look at how my tears ricochet.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it does paint a picture of like they it comes back to bite you, and it's such an interesting and different way to say that, which I
Mm-hmm.
think is which is awesome for Taylor. Like, I love that she can say something cliche in a way that isn't cliche.
Yep. Exactly. So then we get into the second verse. The first line, we gather stones, never knowing what they'll mean. I think the stones are a representation of her records and her songs. We release them. We don't know what they're going to happen, like what's going to happen to them. And the next line, directly relating to that, some to throw, some to make a diamond ring. I mean, they could be diss tracks, they could be throwaways, or like 1989, they can go diamond.
That's so interesting. I never thought of it that way. Like, this line, this couplet has always like been weird to me because like I never understood the point of it. Like, it just seems so displaced. Like I said earlier, like with the "And if I'm on fire, you'll be made of ashes too." It just seems like such a non sequitur. Like, where did you where in the process did you say no, this fits here?
Mm-hmm.
Because it just doesn't feel like it does. But I mean, it makes much more sense when you throw in the context around that. But what I will ask is, do you what is the context outside of that context though? Because like we said with this song, like it's cool because when you know the quote unquote true context about her masters and everything like that, it's also, if you don't know that, it's still just a good love slash revenge slash breakup story. Where in a in a relationship, in a breakup, where do the we gather stones never knowing what they'll mean, some to throw, some to make a diamond ring? I mean, you can obviously say get married with a diamond ring, blah blah
Mm-hmm.
blah, but like, I've never gone picking stones with a significant other before.
You've never been like on a lake just like skipping stones on the water?
Lakes have bugs. I'm not about that
All
life.
right. Well,
No, that's
that's
a
why you
fair
don't
point.
understand. Yeah.
That's a fair point.
Mm-hmm. All right. And then the next line. You know, I didn't want to have to haunt you, but what a ghostly scene. She didn't want it to go poorly. She did have fond memories, but after what they did to her, it was a ghostly scene. It was,
Yeah.
haunted.
Bum 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 bum.
All right. And then the next line, you were the same jewels that I gave you as you bury me. So it's burying her with these cruel comments while trying to make her the bad guy. Meanwhile, they still own the crown jewels of her masters.
Mm-hmm.
They
Still,
own all
and
that.
the diamond records and
Mhm.
all that stuff, because God knows, I don't know what like all of her albums actually have done. Like, I don't know. I mean, you just said 1989 went diamond, but
Mhm.
I assume that can't be the only one.
No.
Yeah.
And then you have, again, the chorus, I didn't have it in myself to go with grace. The new line, because when I'd fight, you used to tell me I was brave. Again, love that line.
Did they? Did she? And I'm starting to realize this, and I never like actually sat down and thought about it. Does she ever repeat word for word a chorus in this album?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I mean, okay, so I feel really bad that I haven't looked into that, but I think that's something I'm gonna look into because
I feel like the one repeats once. It doesn't repeat the entire. Are you
I
talking
don't
about
think
the
it.
entire time?
No, like, well, because like Exile, like we said, it goes from like
Mm-hmm.
you are my town now, now
Mm-hmm.
I'm in exile, who am I defending, to you are my
Yeah.
crown, who am I offending,
Yeah.
invisible string, wondrous time, blah blah blah,
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff. Like, I'm trying
Mirror
to think of,
Ball does that too.
they all, I love that, and that's how I think. I'm sorry to like bring that into this episode where I'm not sure it 100% belongs, but it's so, I love that it just shows how much of a writing, how writing heavy this one was, because
Yeah.
when you do a song, the chorus is the maybe not the easiest, but once you get it done,
It
copy
doesn't, yeah.
paste.
Usually the standard pop formula is a repeating chorus that you're going to know all the words to.
And I love when a chorus switches it up,
Hmm.
and you don't get that repeating chorus. That's why I hate Shake It Off. But I think that's a flex here, man. Like that's I didn't even realize that until you brought it up. So because when I'd fight, you used to tell me I was brave. That is an amazing line.
Yeah, so I can picture Scott when she was back at Big Machine sticking up for her when she was going against Apple and Spotify
Hmm.
about paying musicians a better wage and not shortchanging them. And when she would have all these big public feuds, it's like, you're so brave, this, like that, and the other thing. But now she's fighting with them, not so brave anymore. And then we continue. And if I'm dead to you, why are you at the wake, cursing my name, wishing I stayed? Look at how my tears ricochet. And then
So
we get to the bridge.
one quick thing I want to say about that, cursing my name, wishing I stayed. Do you think in either of these choruses, when she says wishing I'd stayed, do you think she flip flops between Scooter and Braun, or Scooter and Brian, Brian Bruschetta or whatever his name is,
Scott, nope.
Scott Bruschetta? Um, do you think she switches between like they wishing her stayed, and then maybe even there's a part of her that
I'm
where she
sure.
wishes she stayed?
I'm sure that she wanted to keep her masters. I'm sure that a part of her, an inkling of her, would have wanted to stay.
I think that's an interesting. I
Hmm.
think it's interesting that the specific way that she says "wishing I'd stayed" is ambiguous.
Hmm.
That
It's
it
like the
could be.
dichotomy of it.
Hmm.
That's
Which
my
party is
thinking.
wishing? Which party
Yeah,
is wishing?
exactly. And then we go to the bridge. And
Bum, bum,
I
bum,
can
bum, bum, bum.
and I can go anywhere I want, just not home. She can go anywhere. Any label would pay top dollar to have her, but her home, her masters will never be obtainable. This musical home she created and lived in since she was so young is no longer hers, and she wasn't even given the option to buy them.
Which, geez, but, I wonder how much they would go for.
I mean, I forget how much they bought it off of, but it's, some name dropping sleaze tell me what are my words worth, but direct relation. But so the next line, and you can aim for my heart, go for blood, but you would still miss me in your bones. They try to damage her, end her. They're drawing out blood, which is very graphic. Like we talked about this very bloody scene, but they could never land it. They would still miss her and her business to their core. They're missing her and physically missing
Hmm.
her.
I think that's I hate to go on tangents, but that's what I'm here for. I'm rewatching How I Met Your Mother, and there's an episode that I just saw. It was in season 2 or 3, where Ted moves out of the apartment, and Marshall and Lily realize that they built their whole life around Ted,
Mm.
and that when he left, like they didn't have towels, they didn't have toilet paper, they didn't have a microwave, they didn't have like anything that they needed to survive. And it just reminds me of this, of like Scooter and Scott, uh they both just like, this whole company built Taylor up to be this like
Well, Taylor
god.
Taylor was such a behemoth in Big
Hmm.
Machine Records. She easily pulled the most money for that entire label, and that was all Scott with Big Machine. So, because
Hmm.
Scooter has Ariana and Justin and all them, he has powerhouses. For Big Machine, she was their powerhouse.
Yeah. And that thing is just nuts. Like, and
Hmm.
that's the same concept of like, they build around her, and like she's looking at it, she's like, yeah, I'm gone, but uh, you built around me. Like, you can't do what you do without me.
Hmm.
Really, no matter what you do, you could replace me with another pop idol, with someone. I'm irreplaceable. Not
Hmm.
and no matter what you end up doing, you're still gonna miss my presence
Yep.
on your label.
Hmm. And the next line, and I still talk to you when I'm screaming at the sky. I imagine this is her cursing them out, just like screaming explicits like into the sky, just like. Screw
I love the
you.
way that's delivered too, because
Hmm.
it's delivered like it's like
It's like she's screaming it into the
it's like
sky.
yeah, you just see the word bubble come out and then disappear into the night air.
Hmm.
Oh, I love that.
And then the next line, and when you can't sleep at night, you hear my stolen lullabies. And, the stolen lullabies, her stolen works. It's, haunting her that, and haunting them that this isn't yours. This is hers. This is her deep personal work that you just stole. Well, not
That
stole,
was
but I
the
mean,
line. That was 100% the line when you came to me with this theory that sealed it for me,
hmm
because it's just the most obvious, like her explaining it. And I remember like stolen lullabies was one of the merch items when before we knew anything. We were trying to figure out what it meant,
hmm
and then when it was here, we were like, "That's interesting. I wonder why it's here." Like we couldn't figure it out, but it's such a good line.
Yep.
It's like that couplet at the end, especially because it's separated too, because we have the lyrics like written down and that we pulled from Google or whatever. But I love that when I'm screaming at the sky is in brackets,
hmm
and you hear my stolen lullabies in brackets. That's like indicating that it's not like the focal point of the line. It's like it's sub, like it's not sung in the same breath. It's not sung
hmm
by the same person. Kind of. I mean, it is sung by the same person, but you know what
Yeah.
I mean.
hmm
Like it's meant to be a backing vocal instead of a lead vocal, and I think it's so interesting because it does finish. Like if you took that out, if you just and I still talk to you, and when you can't sleep at night, I guess it doesn't. No,
It's
that's
not complete.
no,
No.
it's not complete at all. No, but you need that like
hmm
backing.
Yeah.
I don't know that couplet. I think that's my favorite part of the whole song,
hmm
100%.
And then it goes back into this a cappella. We go into the last verse of the song, verse or chorus. I didn't have it in myself to go with grace, and so the battleships will sink beneath the waves. This history is sinking. Who knows if it'll resurface? But these waves are too strong to keep it afloat. All the fighting just has to be let go, or has to be yeah, let it go.
Did we tie this to 7 for the Pirates?
Hmm.
Oh, thank God. Got so nervous. All right,
Yeah,
cool.
that's a pretty obvious one.
I'm dumb though.
We both are. It's okay. And then the next line, you had to kill me, but it killed you just the same. She's saying that they needed to kill her to the public to make them look better. But by doing so, your reputation also tanked. With them putting out that compilation of her
Live,
performances and
yeah.
yeah, the live stuff, she said she was like, hey, like, I didn't approve this. So if you want to listen, have fun. And it just makes them look like idiots.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You can
It
twist that
reminds it's
around.
the same like I said with the How I Met Your Mother thing. Like they built
Mm-hmm.
they what's the term, symbiotic. It's a symbiotic
Yeah.
relationship, and when you kill you kill the host, everything around it dies too.
Mm-hmm. Cursing my name, wishing I stayed. You turned into your worst fears. I'm not really sure about this one, but I'm assuming Scott told her he never wanted to become someone like Scooter, or never wanted to have a bad reputation, or never wanted to ruin his relationship with Taylor. But you turned into your worst fears. Here you are.
I think that's like something that like it's really interesting because it does we don't know that relationship well, aside from the public parts of it. So it's interesting that she threw in something that is probably deeply personal.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't tell a lot of people. I can't name a lot of people that know my worst fears. So to reference, if someone's referenced what my worst fear could be publicly to people I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
it's a little
It's a
something.
cut. That's a deep cut.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're tossing out blame, drunk on this pain, tossing blame about her to whoever. They're drunk on it. You're excited by all this drama. It's like infatuating. It's just, you're in it. And then crossing out the good years, the first 6 albums and beyond, it was her young, innocent years. And you're cursing
Best
my name, wishing I stayed. Look at how my tears ricochet. End song.
end song scene.
Scene. So Before we get into some other stuff, I wanted to point out this song, having referenced her past discography and her time at Big Machine, it does reference a lot of other past Taylor Swift songs. Not explicitly throughout the entire thing, but there's a theory that the chorus actually references her past 6 albums. So allow me to break that down for you.
Oh, I love this. I didn't know about this. Okay,
I,
wait. Oh, okay, no,
don't
go
look
because
at
I
it.
have guesses. I have guesses.
Okay. I didn't have it in myself to go with Grace. State of Grace
I
from
was gonna
Red.
say red,
Mhm.
100%.
All right, I won't tell you. You just have to guess. And
You want me
you're
to
the
guess?
sure. And you're the hero flying around saving face.
Well, I think I mentioned this one like way early. This one's Superman on
Mm-hmm.
Speak Now. Yeah.
Yep. And if I'm dead to you, why are you at the wake?
Oh, that's got to be Look What You Made Me Do. She can't come to the phone right now. She's
Mm-hmm.
dead. Yep.
That's from Reputation.
Yeah.
And then this one has 2, so be careful.
So Wishing I'd Stayed. Is that 1989? All you had to do was
Yep.
stay, but it also could be Red. Stay, stay, stay.
But for this argument, we're going to say
For this
1989.
argument, it could be 1980. I think it works better there. Look
Did
at
you
how
catch the other one?
cursing my. It's got to be cursing my name, right?
Yep.
Cursing my name. Cursing my name.
What lyric in her past discography talks about cursing someone's name?
I hate this. I feel like I know. I'm gonna know it as soon as you say it. What is it?
It's 2 a.m. and I'm cursing your name.
I
The way
know.
I
Speak
loved you.
now.
Now
I
it's from
knew.
Fearless.
Oh, it's Fearless.
The way I loved you is from Fearless.
Ah, that sucks. So then look at how My Tears Ricochet. Where's that one?
My tears, teardrops on my guitar from self-titled. So you
Oh my
have
gosh.
teardrops on my guitar from self-titled, then the way I loved you from Fearless, to Superman from Speak Now, to State of Grace from Red. All You Had to Do Was Stay, 1989. Look What You Made Me Do, Reputation. There you go.
Is Lover on there? I guess
Nope.
no, because Lover's hers. She owns it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
But so
gosh.
that's a crazy enough theory. I found a couple other instances that you could reference back to different albums, like Weeping in a Sunlit Room. I kind of tied into Step into the Daylight, Lover. Till My Dying Day also has that reputation. Look What You Made Me Do. Tie in. Gathering Stones, Some to Throw. People Throw Rocks at Things That Shine from Ours. But that's the ones that I found when I did my first glance. But isn't that like such a cool theory?
I absolutely love that theory.
Mm-hmm.
That is so cool. That is so cool. I also did not know that you had them all on the side.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. So I genuinely guessed. I was that stupid. Wow. I love that song. Like that's the thing I will say. Like I said, like this song, I think if in a vacuum, this song is off the charts. It's so insane. I wish I loved it more, but like it's just lyrically and what she did with it, and the writing is just it's insane. It's so crazy.
She's just so brilliant and such a great lyricist.
Because she was like she set out to do exactly that, and when she had the idea of I'm gonna write a song about my masters, I'm gonna throw a bunch of random things in there, and I need to make this chorus stand out.
But that is my and our Between the Lines song, line by line.
Do you have any favorite lyrics? What are your favorite lyrics from this one?
Well, I'm just saying that's the actual breakdown.
Okay.
But I mean, I've been seeing online that I didn't have it in myself to go with Grace being called the most Taylor lyric of all time.
Reminds me of the Great American Dynasty, Mad Woman kind of thing. I mean, obviously they all tie in really well, but like, you had a marvelous time ruining everything. Like,
yep.
Sorry, I love it because I'm petty. So
I love just the whole bridge. Like I can go anywhere I want, just not home. That whole line is just great.
You really love that line.
I do. I love screaming it. You would still miss me in your bones.
I don't like how aggressively you say these things.
It's just so aggressive. It's meant to
It,
be aggressive.
I think like I said while we were going through it, and I still talk to you when I'm screaming in the sky, and when I can't sleep at night, you hear my stolen lullabies. Those are like top tier couplet for me.
I've also been reading, just a quick little side note. Someone was trying to make the reference that the song is about Harry Styles because you have all these Taylor Swift, Harry Styles people, and you're like, oh, they're not over each other.
When did they date?
But they dated a while ago.
Yeah, like I feel like that was a long time ago. Why is that still a thing?
People think that they have a deeper relationship. I personally don't agree, but
I don't think so either.
I can still point it out and say, hey, I see you. Your opinion's valid. It's just not my opinion. But yeah. So do you want to take us home?
I do. I would love nothing more. So thank you guys for listening. Please subscribe on whatever platform you're listening to if you haven't already. If you're listening on Apple, please consider giving us a 5-star review, leaving us a comment or a review. Tell a friend about us. It really, really helps us to get more visibility. So even if it takes 5 seconds, just run down, hit the little 5-star button, and just maybe say loved it or something real quick. It does wonders for us. And we really appreciate reading what you guys write about us.
Yes, definitely. And make sure to follow us on social media. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, at We Need to Calm Down Podcast, or on Twitter, WNTCD Podcast. Leave a comment. Again, like Joe said, it really helps us leaving a comment, liking, subscribing, all that kind of stuff. Any interaction with us really helps us out in that whole algorithm. Like I said, leave a comment, DM us, let us know what you think.
Other than that, thank you guys for listening to another episode. We will be back next typical Tuesday night.
Come back. We'll be here.